What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris, and welcome to my review and reaction of Daredevil Season 3. Fresh off of watching the show, finished it about 30 minutes ago, and I'm giving y'all my fresh reaction right now. As I mentioned in my Defenders review last year, that I am absolutely a huge fan of the Marvel Netflix shows. I think it's really phenomenal, the stuff that they've created with these shows. Although I say that ever since Luke Cage Season 2, admittedly, the shows have been sort of hit or miss, but now here we have Daredevil Season 3, and wow, just wow. I just cannot believe what an amazing season this was. The story picks up after the Defenders, where we have Matt surviving the whole tunnel incident with Elektra, and Foggy and Karen are wondering where he's in, and he's thrust into a brand new adventure with Kingpin trying to get out of prison, and a whole new villain that's coming onto the scene that Daredevil's got to deal with. I just cannot believe what just a phenomenally smart show this is. It's just done so well. What I compare it to is sort of what Christopher Nolan did with the Batman movies, where he made everything feel like it could happen in the real world. It was treated really realistically. That's what they do with this series right here, man. Even though obviously it's the comic book stuff they're doing, this series, just the way it's written, how smart it is, how realistic it is, how brutal it is. It's just like, it just keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's just done that well, and you just marvel at it all throughout the show, just how well all the elements are done. Whether it's the characters, the crimes, the violence, all the stuff, the tension, just done all that well throughout this series, man. The show really, I feel, is only as good as its villain. That's really what made, I think, Jessica Jones Season 1 so great to me, was Kilgrave. He was so cool. His powers and just everything he did in that season. That's what was so good about that Season 1 of Jessica Jones to me, or probably the reason it's one of my favorite of the Marvel Netflix shows. Here we got two main villains, really. One is the Kingpin returning from a Season 1, and obviously he was in just a little bit of Season 2. Here he is in full force in Season 3, and what just a great, powerful force this guy is, man. I mean, he's got no powers, obviously, but obviously his sort of influence, just the power he has over the city because of his wealth and all that, just his manipulation of everyone, he's done so well, man. This guy, the guy who plays him, Vincent D'Onofrio, just fucking phenomenal stuff this guy does, man. I mean, his voice, his voice, every time he speaks, that voice he's doing, it's just so damn great to hear him talk. But just the way he's written everything about him, really good. The other villain that we got here is Bullseye, making his debut into these Netflix shows. I've always loved the concept of Bullseye, his powers. A guy who can just take any just projectile thing, object, whatever, and turn it into a weapon just because he's got that deadly a name. It's so scary, man. Even though, and people give that Daredevil 2003 movie a lot of shit, and rightfully so, because it's not a great movie. But even him in that one was just, he was done, I thought, pretty decently, only because I think that power he has is just so damn cool. But here in this show, what they decided to do was say, how can we take this power and make it as scary as possible? Because it is a very scary power. And oh my god, his scenes where he's showing what he can do, just absolute scary stuff. And I really like the approach they went with him. Again, that Nolan approach, treating things seriously, treating it like it makes sense. He's not coming off the bat wearing that sort of a comic book costume. We get a really sort of good detailed origin into what he's all about, how he sort of becomes this sort of opposition for Daredevil, his background story, him showing what he could do at a young age. Really great stuff. So Bullseye just was, I think, as great as Kingpin was, Bullseye was that extra thing thrown in there that just created an absolutely phenomenal series. And the scenes that he has with Daredevil, them two going at it, great stuff. Of course, actually, the action, just as it was in Season 1 and 2, just phenomenal stuff. Those two villains that we got here create just some great tension all throughout the series. All throughout it, you're feeling for all the supporting characters just because you know how dangerous these villains are. You really feel that Matt, Karen, Foggy, and all the characters they introduce, and this new FBI agent, Agent Nadeem, who plays a big role in this series. You feel tension for all of them or scared for all of them just because of how dangerous these villains are. And that's what creates sort of a great experience when you're watching something, when you really feel for those characters. And you can only get, or really feel in danger for these characters. And that's something you can only get when you've got great villains here. I had no complaints watching this, man. I was just, all throughout the series, my eyes were glued to my TV. It was so damn great. The pacing was great.
A few moments later.
In retrospect, I did have one problem though. There was one episode, episode 10, which half of it was dedicated to a flashback. And really sort of the pacing of that episode, it was sort of like, why is this here? It was dedicated to a flashback to Karen, half of the episode. I didn't feel that was all that great, sort of the flashback part, only because the pacing is like, you're really excited to see what happens next. And then you get this whole flashback and you're like, not so great. But thankfully the second half of the episode had a great payoff, so that was good. For me, other than that, just an absolutely terrific series, man. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love that. I don't give 10 out of 10s just for nothing. I give it when it really deserves it, and this series absolutely deserves it. This is the crown jewel of the Marvel Netflix shows right here. And you know, it sucks recently the news we got that they canceled Iron Fist, they canceled Luke Cage, but man, to end the year with Daredevil Season 3, this was just perfection. That's all you can say about this, perfection. And yeah, if I haven't made it clear, I absolutely loved Season 3 of Daredevil. So that's it for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all around with another review.